So just for giggles, I'm going to go back to spot size 1. So that's what we've been playing with, and we'll just leave it there for just a couple of seconds. So the IXRF software, really easy. Basically, you just double click on Iridium Ultra. That's a shortcut for it. And that's the only thing that you have option to do, so just double click on that, and it's going to come up with a couple of diagnostic panels here.
Oh, is that the icon down the lower right?
Yeah,
On the
middle of
tray?
the screen there.
On the tray? That's it, yeah, all right.
That's us right now. This is the SEM,
Yep,
that's my PC, and that's the IXRF icon.
I got it, I got it.
So this is the IXRF window. It opened. This is how it opens as a base default.
Very similar to the one that we put on the camera.
That's correct. Newer software string,
Yeah.
but very, very similar. So you guys have the IXRF package on that SEM without a detector to analyze everything. But you guys have a, if you had a detector working, we could hook a detector up and pull X-ray events off of that damn thing too. So that was, anyway, that's a whole different thing. But okay, so basically this screen right here is the same as that one, right? And we're sharing the display, so the mouse will go from the SEM. It'll extend over to here, so that's great. Just make sure you don't lose your reference to where it is. And so, what we've done here with the IXRF system is, if you look over here, right? Right here, see it goes 2%, 1%, and see this 181, 230, 193, 167, C/S? This is how many X-rays are hitting that analyzer right now. It's telling you. And at this count rate, at 200 counts a second, it's always going to bounce. Just let you know, that number's never going to be stable. Okay? Because it just depends how it's hitting it, how the event's hitting it. It's just constantly hitting it. So it's just constantly being bombarded. So, at this time constant, right now, our percentage of dead time, that's what this is right now, that means the amount of X-ray events that aren't being processed is very, very low. So it's less than 1% realistically, which is okay. It's a relationship. Because what we have here is, we have a time constant of 2, right? That's how much time it's looking at every X-ray event, meaning it's looking at every X-ray event for 2 microseconds. So for 2 microseconds, we're pulling 170 counts a second, and our percentage of dead time is very, very low. And this is this green. See how it's green? It'll go yellow, it'll go red eventually if you have if you have too many counts. So when it's looking at something, it's looking at this and saying, hey, this is aluminum. Yep, it is definitely aluminum. I'm looking at it for 2 microseconds. Yep, it's aluminum. Let's let it go through. Right? If this count range changed, let's say if I open up the beam diameter of this microscope, right? So if this count rate changes to several thousand counts a second, well, my dead time is still very, very low because it's going through. It's like, yeah, that's definitely aluminum. It's letting it go. It's not piling up any information because you guys happen to have an SVD detector on here that can handle a lot of throughput, right? Where if this was a liquid nitrogen detector, like the detector you have on the other SEM, at around 1,000 or 1,500 counts a second, this percentage of dead time will be like around 30%.
Yeah, why did we stop at 50?
Well, because at 50%, you're not processing 50% of your information. So 50% is dead. So the detector at that point in time is like, hang on a second, I'm trying to determine what the hell this thing is. You're giving me more information. I can't handle it.
I got
So
you.
it's getting a lot of pileup. It's piling. So it's getting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% pileup. It's like I can't handle it. That's what it's doing. Really.
So this 5% dead time is nice then.
It's nice. It'll roll. What's really nice is we could generate 100,000 counts a second. If I open up to the biggest aperture, I'll get 100,000 counts a second out of this bad boy, and the dead time is like 30%.
So if we had an unacceptable level of
Dead time.
dead time, what would we do to correct it?
You change your probe current. Less beam.
Less
Okay.
counts.
Less beam. So right now, because I've opened up my lens, let me just.
Less counts,
we have
less information to process,
Yep.
it can keep up with.
Right. So we want maximum counts with minimal
Dead
downtime.
Minimum dead time.
Dead time. What is like an unacceptable dead time level, Jim?
This goes from green to red. It goes
Okay.
green, yellow to red. Red hits around 60.
So we want to be in the green ideally.
Always in the green, but you're never going to have an issue with an SVD detector. So this is just, I'm explaining what
Okay.
these things do,
Okay.
but you're never going to have this issue because you have an SVD detector.
Because it communicates very well. It's able to
The
handle
detector
a lot
can
of
handle it.
information.
All right, so our software is written for liquid nitrogen detectors and silicon drift detectors. So the silicon drift detectors analyze information. They're loud. They process information immediately. they ramp very, very quick.
So this is